All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of A Gamer's Opinion here on Gotta Be Legend, of course. This is your host, ALIANZ, and today is Wednesday, February the 10th, 2021. Hope everyone is doing well, taking care of themselves and each other. But today we're going to go ahead and take a look at, some news that, has passed or at least has been announced this, past week. We weren't here last week. We weren't feeling, weren't feeling very well, so we decided to take that day off. But we're back, right? We're here, of course. Gamer's opinion. If anyone wants to join me, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. I'll go ahead and bring you into the Discord. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. And today, we're gonna do a quick segment, right, for Gamer's opinion. A lot of things to talk about, as you see on the screen already. Of course, we're gonna start off with Call of Duty Warzone, right? So it looks like a lot of players have been banned, which is a great thing because the way things have been going on for, you know, for a few months, right, with this game have been horrendous. So many people, with their hacks, the Cronus Max, just a lot of different things, right? So a lot of people, right, have been very upset with the glitches, right? People finding exploits in the game, right? The stim glitch had came back after it was gone for a bit. Then the Juggernaut glitch, then uh weapons being OP and needing to be nerfed. It's just all over the place, really. So at least they did something. Not sure if it's too late, but at least they did something. So as you see on the screen, Call of Duty Warzone just banned a bunch of players, and it's about to ban more. Right, so Infinity Ward and Raven Software aren't messing around when it comes to Warzone cheaters. All right, so Raven Software just announced a new ban wave, aka a ban hammer, for Call of Duty Warzone, cheaters. And it says the strong arm of the ban hammer isn't slowing down anytime soon. You see a ban hammer. The studio didn't reveal exactly how many Warzone bans it dealt today, but the move follows a massive ban wave from last week that punished a whopping 60,000 cheaters. That's a lot of motherfuckers, man. At the time, the total of banned players since Warzone's launch had reached 300,000. There's no data on where the number is at right now, but it could be close to or exceeding 400,000. That's a lot. Almost a half a million people banned. It means you have a really big problem in your game. It means your game is broken. And you need to fix it. I mean, I don't know what Activision and Infinity Ward are gonna do, or Treyarch for that matter, because of course we have, uh, you know, Cold War out, right? We have Cold War. Not a lot of people are playing it, but Warzone is where it's at. A lot of streamers, a lot of gamers are playing this online, right? Because it's free also, and the cross playability too. But you have a broken game, and for a game like that, how do you expect there to be much longevity if it's broken? So you need to do something. Either they need to go ahead and release a new version of this, right? Change the map around. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it is time for a new map. 100%. Definitely need a new map. Definitely need to make some major changes to this game because the way I see it, I think this game it's a fad, right? It's definitely a fad until it gets to the point where people get tired of the shit. And once that happens, right? If Infinity Ward doesn't get on, their fucking P's and Q's, then it's just gonna fade out eventually, right? Because people just get tired of it, right? They're investing money on the season passes here and there, but they don't see the change. So after a while, it's going to die. So I think it's super important for you know Raven, right? Infinity Ward, also Activision, you know reintroducing Warzone, right? It worked with Modern Warfare engine, right? Modern Warfare 2019, but they need to do something different because the rampant cheating, right? It's not going to stop, and the fact that it's not going to stop is only going to make it worse. I mean, think of GTA, right? Think of GTA 3 and how bad it was on the PS3 with the cheating. And then PS4 came out, they had us go over there, and it was cool for a while, but then the cheating never really ended, right? So you got to do something, right? You got to do something. I think you know I think Activision needs to do something, man. I mean, this is their baby, right? I mean, this is their fucking bread and butter. This is where they make most of their money from, right? So I mean, a majority of their money, right? Not most, right? Because they have so many different IPs under their belt. But this is Call of Duty, right? This is fucking Dude Bros, right? Fucking esports and shit, right? So you got to do something, big time, because shit like this can't keep happening. Like, look on the screen. It says after an incident involving Canadian streamer Metzi allegedly using an aimbot during the Twitch Rivals tournament, Raven Software announced new monthly updates on Warzone cheating prevention going forward, and named the list of cheats that they're looking for that includes aimbots, wall hacks, trainers, stat hacks, texture hacks, leaderboard hacks, injectors, hex editors, and any third-party software. So what does that mean? That means that they know, right? They definitely know that people are, using these hacks, using these cheats. And because of that, that's not a good look, right? Because your other game, Cold War, people aren't really fucking with that game. You know what I mean? So if they're not fucking with your new game and your previous game or your previous release is broken, I mean, you're still gonna sell copies when the new version comes out. That's just what's gonna happen, right? Call of Duty is such a big title, such a big IP that it's going to sell regardless. But you know, where's your quality control? Unfortunately, people aren't. The problem with gamers is this: we like to give companies so much of the benefit of the doubt to our detriment that we expect them. Oh, they'll just fix the next game. Bullshit. They don't fix anything, right? Or they may fix something else, but they still leave those vulnerabilities there, right, for them to be exploited. I don't know why. Maybe because it allows people to make pretty cool videos that make people want to buy the game. I don't know. But that doesn't make it all right. You know, this is unacceptable, man. I mean, we're in 2021 and shit like this is happening still. Like, people are still using trainers. Yo, I remember playing Diablo 2 in 2000 with a fucking trainer. We're talking about 21 years ago, and people are still doing these things. Like, you guys, and mind you, it's the same company, right? Activision Blizzard. I mean, come on. I mean, back then, it still wasn't Activision Blizzard. It was still Blizzard Entertainment, but you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, what the fuck's going on? So, if you ask me, that's just unacceptable at this time and age. For there to still be people being able to do these things to these games and play them online is just unacceptable, man. I just think it's so unacceptable. I think it's, lack of dedication to the game, lack of commitment to your fan base. I mean, I think it's stupid. Personally, I just think it's stupid. I mean, this cannot continue to happen. Activision, Infinity Ward, Raven, you got to do something quick, man. I mean, it's cool that you went ahead and did a ban wave, but your game, Warzone has been out for over a year, I think, right? Or it's going to be a year now in March. So that's bad. That's bad. I'm pretty sure the game is starting to die. I mean, people still play Warzone, but I know people were so upset, about I can't even remember what the damn gun was. Was it a DMR? I think it was a DMR. So upset about that. A lot of people stopped playing because of how upset they were, that gun being so overpowered. But you got to do something, man. If other people aren't playing your brand new game because they want to play this one, but shit like this is happening on this one, where else are they gonna run to? I mean, they can go run to the previous games, right? I know. Shout out to Shibarizu. He was playing. I think he was playing Black Ops 2 the other day on PC. I mean, yeah, you can run back to that if you want, but I mean, that's not the whole point, man. You're gonna play a game that's 15 years old, approximately. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, get your shit together, right? So, I don't know. I think the next Call of Duty, man. I mean, they gotta hit it out the park, man. They gotta get this Warzone shit right, man. They can't use the same, you know, launchable, right? The same, exe file, right? For fucking Warzone this year and on to next. No, no. If they don't do something quick, and mind you, it's February 10th, man. By November of this year, if they don't say they're gonna have a brand new Warzone, with a new map, new mechanics, upgrades, all these sort of things, like huge patch, practically to reinvent the title, this shit's gonna die because it's just so broken, right? It's so broken. There's so many issues that people don't want to deal with it anymore. right? I know people that like, man, I don't want to play this right now until they fix this, and there's always something going on here, right? They know that. Well, I mean, it's a free game. Who gives a fuck, right? We'll just pay them for the season pass, so you don't have to pay for it. Cool, it's true, but you know, if you're gonna have free to play, you kind of want to do it for an extended period of time, not for a few years, maybe 1 or 2 years, and that's it. No, you want to be able to milk this shit. I mean, look what Fortnite's done. So I don't know. I just think that these guys better wake the fuck up quick because people are gonna get tired of this shit, man. They already are tired of it, and they still keep playing because they're addicted to the game. They play with their friends. They have their communities, right? And that's great. That's what it's supposed to be about. But when you have a game that's so broken, it kind of you kind of have a hard time finding a reason to play the game, and that's bad. And that's not the way it's supposed to be, right? So figure it out. That's all I'm gonna say. Figure this shit out. Next. Anyway, well, for another game that still needs to be figured out, apparently, EA reportedly deciding the fate of Anthem later this week. Now, Anthem was a game that was severely broken when it came out, right? A lot of people had a lot of hopes for this game, and it went to shit. Okay, so a lot of people were expecting a lot of things from Anthem. It didn't do so great. It was a broken game. There really wasn't much of an end game, and that was that. And that game came out back in 2019, right? So it's been about 2 years almost, and apparently now EA wants to decide the fate of Anthem. So Anthem Next is meant to include major changes to game systems, UI, and more. EA is reportedly making the final decision on the future of Anthem later this week, according to Bloomberg. BioWare's Anthem famously launched back in 2019 to less than stellar reviews, thanks in large part to clunky UI, unclear game mechanics, and excessive loading screens. Back in October 2020, BioWare announced huge Anthem changes were on the horizon, including a complete retool of the Javelins and a new artifact system. Plans for the game's future were laid in a lengthy blog post from BioWare, months after we saw concept art featuring pirates and a revamped loot system, for what the devs were calling Anthem 2.0. Sounds like what they did with fucking Armor 2.0 in Destiny. Already not working. Okay, so according to 3 people familiar with the matter, executives at EA will review the latest version of Anthem Next and decide whether to expand the team or abandon the project. The Anthem Next team reportedly consists of 30 people, and the anonymous sources claim BioWare will need to at least triple that in order to produce new content and continue attempting to overhaul the game. So you need to have 3 times the team that it's already working on it. So you have 30 people. 3 times, you mean 90 people. You need 90 people to work to at least rebuild a game that most people probably don't even have installed anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you wasting resources on this? I understand that, you may be trying to make some money back, right? Because it did cost money to make this game. And, the fact that, it was so fucked up when it came out that, it drove people away from it, right? People didn't want to buy it because they're like, oh man, look at this, Understood, right? But the problem is, like, why are you wasting resources on a game that it's going to be really hard for people to want to, find a reason to go and play it now? Like, with all the bad press it got, it's already late to the game. You have, Outriders coming out, a demo coming out in like 2 weeks. Tell me again, why should I play Anthem if I haven't played it before, if I never bought it before? Why should I buy it and play it now? I mean, unless it's in fucking, see, look, like it talks about Destiny right there, you saw? So unless it's like some shit that's on fucking EA Play, right, and you have a Game Pass and you want to try it out, okay, cool. It's part of the whole package deal, right? I get it. But aside from that, why would I want to play a game that was so incomplete that 2 years later they're still trying to figure it out? Why? No, it doesn't work like that. That's dumb. I wouldn't do that. I wish them luck, but unfortunately I think that the train is passed, right? The train is passed for Anthem. Nobody really gives a shit about it anymore. They had their chance, they blew it. BioWare, EA blew it, and now they're trying to save some face, maybe try to recover on some of their losses. Because like I said, it does cost money to make these games, but I wouldn't. I would just choose to go ahead and leave it on the wayside and then just move on. You know, shout out to Diz. Exactly, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was one of those games. I played it again. I actually did play it once again, but I can't get into that game. It just I'm like, man, like there's so many other games out there that I just would rather wait for or play. Like I'm not gonna spend money on this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't. If you already own the game, sure, go ahead and reinstall it and see what's up. But for new players, I don't see the reason why. Like I said, unless you have Game Pass, know that it has the EA Play set up right there, right? Then yeah, sure, give it a shot if it's there. Absolutely, I think you should because it doesn't cost you anything, right? But if you don't have the game already, what's the point? Tell me what's the point? Unless it's gonna be like a $20 title and you might want to buy it, then hey, if you want to spend some $20 on something just for shits and giggles, and go for it, right? But I don't see the reason why. I would just rather wait for Outriders coming out, and the demo's coming out in 2 weeks. The game comes out in April. It's made by Square Enix. They know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to RPGs, right? So this is sort of a first-person RPG, sort of game. So I would just wait for that personally. But if you're still interested in Anthem, right, just keep in mind that they're still deciding to see if they want to keep this game alive or not. I think it's stupid. I think they should just destroy it. No point in doing it. Save your time, save your resources, do something else. That's just me. But if EA and BioWare feel that they might be able to save this game somehow, some way, if you already own it, give it a shot. If you don't own it, and if you have Game Pass and it's there, give it a shot. If it costs more than $30, tell that game to kick rocks. No. And even if it does cost $30 or less, it's still take time to consider whether you want to buy it or not. Right? Because how many people are really going to be checking for this game now, 2 years after? No. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. To each his own, right? To each their own. Absolutely fine, but I wouldn't recommend it. If I was you, if I was anyone, I would just try out the demo for Outriders. Comes out February 25th. Wait for that. Check it out. See how you feel. I would just say, wait. Don't get your hopes up on this game. It looks awesome. I mean, you're looking at it right now on screen, but it's just half-assed. And now 2 years later, they're trying to get a return on their investment, but it's too late. If you're gonna play an EA game, just wait for Battlefield. I think Battlefield's coming out at the end of the year. So if you're interested in playing a new EA game, just wait for Battlefield. Save your time, save your money, save the headache, save the anguish. Just wait. But if you feel that somehow, some way, BioWare is gonna pull one out of their ass, and EA as well, and you have the game, give it a shot. If you have Game Pass, give it a shot. If it costs more than $30, don't buy it. Even if it costs less than $30, still consider what I'm telling you. That's all I got to say about Anthem, all right? So I didn't buy it. I'm not interested. I know people that bought it, and they were very upset before it happened. Of course, it can go like No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky, it's not a BioWare title, and it's not published by EA, right? So as far as I remember. So I mean, like, you can expect a game like that to have a sort of blunder, but when it comes to a major publisher and a major developer, it's unacceptable. So I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt. They already had their chance. They blew it. The hell with them. That's just me. Anyway, on to the next topic. We're going to talk about EA 2021. So this year it's going to go digital, right? EA 2020 didn't happen, as you see. I'm sorry, E3, excuse me. But E3 2021 is pushing for digital showcase this June. Now, I've always liked watching E3 growing up, being, from the 80s, late 80s. I grew up in the 90s, of course, and I remember seeing, E3 in the magazines, right? And it was awesome back then. I mean, E3 back then, seeing the ads and, then towards the early parts of the 2000s, seeing it on YouTube, or I'm seeing it on internet, on IGN or whatever, even on what's that site, man? Game Trailers, right? GameTrailers.com. It was awesome back then. I used to love watching E3. Every year I watched it. But as time passed, right? I guess it lost its luster, or maybe it became too commercial, perhaps. I'm not sure, but it just didn't feel like something of ours anymore, right? Once too many hands are in the pot, things start to lose its value. They start to lose their appeal, right? And that's what it felt like. Now, of course, last year, there wasn't an E3 due to the pandemic, right? But for example, Nintendo has been doing its own, direct for a while. They don't need E3, especially nowadays with the way the internet is, and such good great connections where people can actually stream this themselves, where companies can stream this themselves. Like why hold off to a third party to go ahead and make your announcements when you can just do it yourself and keep all the revenue, right? I mean, it's sad to me. I will always appreciate what E3 has meant, right, to the industry for such a long time, but that time has passed. You know, honestly, deep down inside, I think everybody, always has this nostalgic feel about E3, but deep down inside, I think nobody gives a fuck about it anymore. Why? Why? I mean, why do I have to wait for, you know what I'm saying, like for an event when Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo could be like, yo, tomorrow we're gonna go live. That's it. They don't have any power. There's no leverage. What is the leverage? Tell me, what is the reason that you need to hold off for E3 to announce something when we're in 2021 and everybody's streaming it online themselves? What is the reason? Tell me, what is the reason? There is none. It doesn't make sense. It's not what it used to be. Back then, it was different because we didn't have the tools available to go ahead and broadcast this for such a long time, or even to watch it for such a long time. So you had to be there, right? Or you had to watch it from one particular site. But now, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody needs that shit no more, man. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure they're just doing it because of nostalgic reasons, because it's a brand. And, people always say, oh, man, it's E3. But, yo, I'm sorry. I think it's done. I think it's done. It's had its time. I don't hate E3. I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll be able to watch it. I'll be home, so I'm sure I'll watch it. But like I said, E3, if you ask me, it's GG. It's over. It's over. There is no reason for it anymore. There really isn't. There really isn't, man. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, everybody's doing their stuff online. They're on YouTube, they're on Twitch. They may have asked me anything on Reddit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way things are now, right, with communications and social media and interactions with others. I mean, to a degree, everyone that you want to talk to or everyone you want to hear from is going to be available at one point or another, right? Whether they're gonna respond directly to you, or they're gonna go online and start asking some questions, or at least answering some questions, or giving comments about things people want to hear. Like, we're at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, I'm sure people will watch it. I think it'll be successful, but it doesn't have that effect it used to. Even 20 years ago, it just doesn't. And that's the price we pay. That's the price we pay with technology. That's the price we pay with social networks, social media. you know, it is what it is, man. And that's it. I mean, it just is what it is, right? It is what it is. They can say, as it says here, right? Back then, the ESA promised to bring a reimagined event that brings fans, media, and the industry together for E3 2021. It was clear the community wasn't sure how long our lives would be affected by COVID-19 back then. Nearly a year later, however, it's clear that an in-person E3 2021 is off the table. And that's why people really enjoyed it, because it was a trade show, right? I mean, you would get to play the demos, you would get to see this, you would get to see that, talk to people. But like with communications, we don't need that anymore. We really don't, man. Like, you just don't. You just get on Twitter and ask the guy the question directly, and hopefully he'll answer, or enough people would follow what you're saying, and like, and it starts to gain traction, right? And then now they have to answer in a way, right? So I mean, you don't need this anymore. And like I said, it's kind of bittersweet, but it's just the truth, man. We just don't need it. We don't. And it was great for a long time. I remember I used to watch, no lie, I used to watch E3 because I was a huge SOCOM fan back in 2004, 2005, 2000, 2003, 4, and 5. Since then, since the first game. And I used to always watch the PlayStation, event to see if they spoke anything new about SOCOM. And man, that shit was amazing back then, you know? Because it was the first time we were actually seeing anything. But now, like, you have, even though we had leaks back then, now, like I said, the way the world is set up, everybody has a camera, everybody has an opinion. That's why you're watching my show. But we're at a point where none of this even matters anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't, man. Like, if you want to find something now, you just fucking Google it super fast and boom, it's there. Look it up on YouTube and you might find something there already. And there's no need for it. There just really isn't. I mean, I understand people need to get paid. It's a business. I understand that. But it's been on the way down. And I would say probably in the next 5 years, you're not going to see E3 anymore. You probably won't. And it's really going to depend on how well this event does. Like I said, I'll watch it because I'll be home anyway, likely, so I'll watch it. But I think 5 years from now, you won't see this shit no more. And 5 years from now, well, not even 5 years from now, because I think the first trade show was 95. So it'll be 30 years, right? Nah, I don't see it going another 30 years. I really don't. So it is what it is. Hate it or love it. E3 will always be, very important to what, the gaming industry has become, but we're past it now. And if they want to host an online event, I don't know how they're going to do that because, like I said, these companies don't need them. They can just do it themselves. So then if they can do it themselves, then what are you offering? Right? I don't know. That's just me. I wish them the best. Like I said, E3 has been super important to the gaming industry for so long, but we're at a point in history and a point in technology that we don't need this no more. And it sucks, but it is what it is. Anyway, next topic. CD Projekt Red has been the victim of a huge cyber attack, and a lot of people have been really concerned about this. I think, well, let's read this first, right? So, The Witcher and Cyberpunk devs can't seem to catch a break. Yes, they cannot seem to catch a break because they themselves... Did I just scratch my monitor here? I think I did. That sucks. Okay. So, they themselves dug themselves in a hole. I understand, these developers, right, they take a lot of time into making these games. But it's the investors that are responsible for what happened, and CEO as well. And because of that, CD Projekt Red is under the radar, or at least, got a target on their back, right? A huge cyber attack, right? So CD Projekt Red has been the victim of a huge target cyber attack. The developer responsible for The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 took to Twitter to announce the attack and share a ransom note from the hackers who are threatening to leak sensitive data if Projekt Red doesn't answer its demands. Okay, so what are the demands? Will be releasing sensitive documents to the press, and that they have dumped full copies of the source code from your Perforce server for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. They have 48 hours to contact them. I just think, at this point in time, CD Projekt Red is... I don't know, man. Like, it ain't looking good, man. And it's going to go down. It's going to happen to you. And you're going to get wrecked. That's what I think. These hackers don't care, man. Yo, you can meet their demand and it doesn't mean anything, because they'll still do it. You can't win. You can't win, and it's going to happen to you, and you're gonna get wrecked. And if the leak is really bad, whatever it is that they leak, it just happens to be really bad press, you guys are done. They're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody capping out here for CD Projekt Red right now. Nobody. Nobody. And if you are, you're lying. Nobody, man. I'm telling you. If this shit goes down, done. Look, they're telling you right here. They've been epically pwned or owned. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're done. These guys ain't playing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. And good luck. Good luck. But once you have, the ire of a hacking community, and they're targeting you, there's not much you can do after that. Really, there really isn't much you can do. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna come after you, and they're gonna come after you hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be bad. And I don't know. I think they're done. If this shit is something that really is so bad, like if the leak is really bad, like there's a lot of fuck shit going on, and maybe some side conversations going on about some weird shit, or I don't know. I mean, some investor information in there about who cares about the gamers, just released a game type of shit. You're done. There ain't no coming back. And depending on how bad this is, I mean, yeah, this could be the end of CD Projekt Red. I can believe that. These hackers ain't playing these days, man. They're not playing, man. We're in 2021, man. You see what time it is, man. Information is everything. He who has the information has the knowledge, has the power. If they got this information, they're gonna make you bend backwards for it, man. I'm telling you, it ain't a fucking game anymore, man. These companies, they've been doing fuck shit for way too long. It would not surprise me if there's an email in that leak that, from the investor, from the CEO, saying, investors want the game out. They don't care if it's not done. Put it out. If that becomes official and that's leaked, you're done. You are fucking done. Period. Period. I don't want to hear it, man. Like, there's no excuses for them. You can say, but they had to do it. I understand that they had to do it, but the fact of the matter was that, those people that don't know anything about, what we do for, a hobby, have all this power to ruin games or ruin a brand. Well, and, at the end of the day, it fucks with us, right? Because, how many people bought the game for PS4 and, Xbox One, and it shit didn't even work. I mean, they even made a Xbox One X console for this game, limited edition, and the game's not even built for it. It's built for PC. What are they telling you, man? They're whoring out the gaming industry, man. That's what they're doing, because they know people are so hype enough and dumb enough, honestly, to buy this game or buy any game of that matter, that has all this hype, and they don't care if it's broken. You already bought it. But they got so bad that they had to go ahead and give refunds. But, that's against the point, man. The point of the matter is that this game, it's broken, man. It's broken. They put out a patch. It's still broken. I'm telling you, if that shit comes out in a leak saying that the investors, forced their hand and the CEO had to make the decision to put the game out, like, we've heard that this is the case, right? But if we can see concrete evidence of it, they're done. They're done. End of story. Anyway, on to the next. Final Fantasy VII Remake reportedly coming to PS5 and PC with new story content. Now, I have this game for PS4, but I have a base PS4. And although the game is fun, I didn't finish it. There was a lot of things going on at that time when it came out. I think it came out, last year in March or April? But I think this game, unfortunately for me, like the PS4 base, even though you could play the game and it's fine, it doesn't do it any justice. And so once it comes out for PC, I don't know if I want to play it. I will consider it, but I don't know if I want to spend another $60 on a game that I already own that I didn't finish. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. So, as you see here, they're going to go ahead and acknowledge, right? They acknowledge that this information is both unofficial and potentially outdated, but maintain that the new story content was planned for the upgraded ports. So I spoke to a great friend of mine, Sephiroth Evil, big, Final Fantasy fan, and basically what he states is that what they're going to be adding is the end of the first CD, right? The first disc, right? Because when they released it, he finished it. He's a big FF7 fan, so since the first game. So he said that when, you finish the game, it's really about 80% of the first disc from back in 97. So what he was thinking was that, okay, they're just going to add that missing part for the first disc. And that makes sense, right? Because you already have the base there, right? The foundation for the game is there, and of course you need to go ahead and continue the story, in the next few years, right, with this new or current generation of consoles, right? So you have to find a way to end that disc, right? The first disc from the first game before you get on to the next, right? So that makes a lot of sense that for the PS5, maybe it's going to be a free update. For PC, they're going to have it all included. Maybe like the definitive edition, I guess. But that makes a lot of sense to me. Like I said, I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was really fun. But like I said, at that time there were so many things going on. I didn't get a chance to finish it. But from the I made it, I think, up to chapter 8 or something, or chapter 9. I enjoyed it. I really did. But I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be, upset, but then again, they have to milk this, man. They have to milk it. Sony and Square Enix, more particularly Square Enix, they have to milk the shit out of this game. It's Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy 7. We're in a new generation of consoles, really. Just started, a few months back, maybe about almost, 4 or 5 months back. So they got to milk the shit out of this. And that's what they're going to do. And some people may hate it, right? Enthusiasts, real hardcore people may hate how they're treating the game, treating the IP. But, you know what I'm saying? It's like Disney, man. They're going to milk the shit out of it regardless whether you like it or not. And that's that. Would I try it? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I would like to play it on PC now that I have, a much better, video card. I definitely would like to try it, but I'd have to consider how much it's going to cost. I really don't want to pay $60 for this game when I have it on PS4 already. So, as you see here, this exclusivity window was originally scheduled to end on March 3rd, according to the initial box art, but it was later extended to April 10. April is not far away, so if Square Enix does have PS5 and or PC ports in store, this month would be a reasonable time to announce them. On top of that, Final Fantasy VII Remake was among the games updated with unspecified PS5 related support last October. And then it talks about God of War, right? They just upgraded that last week, and I've seen images. Right now, it definitely runs 4K 60, no problem, right? And that's dope. That's dope because, previously, right, the PS4 Pro was able to run at 1080p 60, 4K 30, and the previous, right, the PS4 base could only run it 1080p at 30, right? So it's a big difference. For the game, it definitely makes a difference. I mean, playing a game from 30 to 60 frames, it makes a huge difference. But I don't know. I mean, it goes back to Ragnarok, right? God of War Ragnarok. Are these guys gonna still do the same and affect the way the game plays? Because the base PS4, man, that's 10-year hardware already, man. Maybe 11. And is that game gonna be on 30 frames also? I don't know. I think we're at a point where a game like that needs to be 60 period, man. So I mean, I wouldn't put it on a PS4, even if it's a PS4 Pro, right? That you're gonna be playing it on. I wouldn't put it on there, but these companies got to make their money, right? That's their install base. There's still about 150, 180, maybe about 150, I would say, or maybe 130 PS4s in the wild. It's a lot of money to miss out on. I don't think you want to do that, but to the detriment of the game, I don't know. It's not my call. If it were, I wouldn't do it. But then again, I'm not the CEO of Sony. So that's that. Anyway, speaking of CEOs, Take-Two CEO says interest in GTA remasters is encouraging. Okay, so apparently during last night's earnings call, transcribed via the Motley Fool, in which Take-Two discussed GTA's 5 ongoing sales success, analyst Eric Handler suggested to Zelnick that it seems like there's a huge audience of people that have probably never played GTA 4 or any of these other prior GTA games that came up before that. With that in mind, Handler asked, "What's your perspective in there? What's your perspective there in terms of thinking about remastering prior games?" In response, Zelnick said that the question was great and encouraging, but that he was kind of inclined to leave it more as a statement than a question. He went on to clarify that any updates on a release schedule will come from Rockstar Games. While that's definitely not an affirmative answer to the question of GTA remasters, it's interesting that Zelnick did not. It's interesting that Zelnick decided not to say that Rockstar isn't working on updated versions of its older games and seems to have left the ball firmly in the developer's court. A number of rumors over the past few years, as well as the ongoing success of GTA 5, would suggest that Rockstar is hard at work on GTA 6, with a recent leak pointing to a potential 2023 release. We're going to take a look at that next, actually. That doesn't, however, mean that a smaller team couldn't be working on updating one of the studio's older games for a release on newer hardware. But whatever the future holds for the GTA series, it's likely to be a few years before we see Rockstar's next game. Okay. GTA or previous GTA titles getting remade would be really dope. But I think those games, unfortunately, the thing about GTA, man, it's like it modernizes itself with the real world. If you understand what I'm saying, like it goes as the real world goes. And even though a lot of people are into retro and vintage, they've been into that for a while. This sort of game, I don't think will work, right? Because a lot of the mechanics of the game have already evolved into the current game, and so having to go back, it would be cool, but I just don't think it's a good idea. Honestly, it would be cool though. It definitely would be cool. But can you imagine playing a remaster of, GTA 3? I mean, that game came out, what, 2001, I think it was? October? Something like that? So, think about it. Like, okay, everybody remembers how that game looks. But the way it plays, right? The way that game plays, I don't think so. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea. Maybe, like they did before, right? With, Chinatown Wars, right? Doing a spin-off sort of game I think would work, but a complete remaster, it would be cool. I would be interested in seeing it, but would it work? I don't know. That I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think that's the play. Honestly, I don't think that's the play to make. That's just me, but I wouldn't do it like that. No way. No way. But we'll see. I mean, money talks, bullshit walks, right? And if you can make some money off of it, and I know they will, they might consider it. They might be crazy enough to consider it. But do I think it's a good idea? Do I think it's something that they should do? No. What I think they should do is add those locations into GTA Online, right? We already have San Andreas. Go ahead and add Vice City. Go ahead and add Liberty City into GTA Online. Go ahead and add all of those locations onto GTA Online. You want to remaster them? That's how you do it. Reintroduce them in a modern way. And the most modern way for GTA right now, the most modern aspect of the game is online. So how do you reintroduce Vice City, Liberty City back into GTA? You do it through GTA Online. That's what I would do. If I'm Rockstar, I'm working on adding those maps today, or I've been working on that. Right? You work on adding those venues to the current game, and maybe for the kick of it, add London, right? Because remember, the first game, if I'm not mistaken, took place over there, right? So add that too. Add those locations to GTA Online. Then you're talking. But remaking them, I don't think is the right idea. Add them to online. That's what they need to do for PS5. Make sure you add these locations to GTA Online. You do that, people are gonna love you forever. I'm telling you, that's the play. Anyway, GTA 6. GTA 6 details potentially leaked suggest a 2023 release. Apparently, it's taking place in 1970s Miami. Remember, Vice City was in the 80s, right? So, we'll see. But remember, this is all rumor and speculation, folks. So, GTA 6 could launch in October 2023 and may be set in Miami, according to new details from a dubious leaker online. As cataloged on Reddit, the anonymous leaker stated that the open-world crime sequel will focus on a single male protagonist in 1970s Florida, with a chaptered story, that is similar in structure to Red Dead Redemption 2, but apparently not quite as emotional. Interestingly, much of the leak corroborates with what we've previously heard about Rockstar's next project, including a smaller, denser scope for its open world, more advanced NPC AI. Yes, that's something that they have been working on, right? They've been working on their AI for NPCs. I guess what they've been doing is capturing data, right, from GTA Online to see how players work, how individuals actually choose to play their game, capture all that information and add it to their AI system. So I think that's what they're going to be doing. And the fact that it's several years away and not coming out anytime soon, as some might have been hoping. In case it's not clear, it's worth taking these new rumors with plenty of skepticism, especially as the source offers no basis for verification, and much of the list reads like a fan's checklist, with promises of windsurfing, full adult content, and the imminent release of Red Dead Redemption Remastered to tide Rockstar fans over in the meantime. Indeed, given that an expanded and enhanced version of GTA 5 is scheduled to launch on PS5 later this summer, yes, that's correct. We can't imagine Rockstar has anything else planned for the rest of the year beyond continued updates for GTA Online and Red Dead Online. We will, of course, let you know as soon as whatever. So, GTA 6. Do I see it eventually happening? I think it does need to happen. But I think the bread and butter right now is GTA Online, man. I don't think Rockstar necessarily expected it to be such a hit. Rockstar, man, I mean, GTA Online, bro, GTA Online has been out since 2013. It's 2021. It's going to be 8 years because that game came out, towards the end of 2013 on the PS3 and the 360. So, and GTA Online, man, that shit is still kicking to this day. Granted, it has its glitches, it has its hacks, it has a lot of issues, but people still play this game. And not just that, Rockstar makes a fuckload of money off these shark cards. I'm telling you, man, like, Rockstar, I'm sure they knew they would be successful, but I don't think they knew that it would be this successful, because they got a gold mine there, man, with GTA Online. I don't see necessarily a need to have to introduce a new game. Maybe towards the end of the PS5 or halfway through the PS5 life cycle before a PS5 Pro comes out, you might want to release it. But I mean, you can just keep fucking banking on GTA Online until the wheels fall off, man, and just keep updating it. That game, people love that shit, man. They love that game. And I mean, I can see why. People, I mean, the community there, man, they do all sorts of shit, man. These people are some of the most creative, ambitious people I've ever seen playing a game. It's crazy, man, and that's why it's been so successful. And I think Rockstar didn't expect that to happen that way. And now that they have that on their hands, it's a good problem to have. Because now you have to put it on the scaling. Do we go ahead and push out GTA 6, or should we just focus on GTA Online? Like I said, I think personally that they need to go ahead and add Liberty City, Vice City, and maybe even London onto GTA Online. They need to expand the map. I would do it, especially with the technology and hardware we have now. Why not? But creating a new game, okay, what happens to GTA? All right, y'all. Sorry about that. We got a bit disconnected right there. Had a little timeout with our interconnection. So sorry about that, everyone. Third world problems, right? So anyway, we're back, and yeah, like I was saying, in terms of GTA, I don't think GTA 6 is the play. I think the play is investing in GTA Online and just continue milking the fuck out of that game. because that game, I'm telling you, GTA Online, it's its own beast, man. There's nothing competing with it, man. Nothing. So why would you destroy it? Unless, like I said, you make a new GTA and then you make everyone buy the new game. I mean, it's sort of the same thing, right? I mean, it already happens now, right? It already happens now, with GTA 5, right? It already takes place now with GTA 5 where people, what they're doing is, you know, watch, like right now, right? They're going to go ahead and release the enhanced version, right? So you're going to have to buy that. So, I mean, it would work, but do you want to do that now? Or do you want to continue to ride the wave and then come back maybe 2 years from now? I'm not sure. But that's a good problem to have if I'm Rockstar. Definitely a good problem to have. GTA Online is killing it, and it's going to continue to kill it, so it's definitely a great problem to have. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. I don't know if it really makes sense to do it. I mean, 2023 is 2 years from now, so I mean, it would make GTA 5, excuse me, and GTA Online about 10 years old. Makes sense, right? That way you can go ahead and implement, the things you want to do to the next or to the engine, right? You add those changes that you've already worked on. So it makes sense. The next iteration of GTA Online. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. Just a lot of issues going on today with the internet here. So, really apologize for that. I'm going to go ahead and get through this fairly quickly. So, yeah, GTA 2023, do I think it's going to happen? Yes. Is it necessary? No. But if you do want to see major changes to GTA Online, which is, Rockstar's bread and butter, you're going to need to do this. So, we'll see. Anyway, on to Activision. Activision Blizzard has announced more remastered games to announce this year, right? So this is piggybacking off what we were talking about, last show with Diablo 2. I think, of course, we're gonna have that BlizzCon Online coming up in the next few days. So I think we're gonna get an announcement for Diablo 4 release day. But I think we're also gonna be told that Diablo 2 remaster is coming sometime this year. I think that's what they need to do. I hope to see that. Shit, I might even play some Diablo 3 after the stream. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it, but that's what I think. Anyway, on to Activision saying that Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 aren't releasing in 2021, so that means probably 2022, 2023. I think 2022 is definitely plausible. So we expect Blizzard's next bookings to grow. Net bookings to grow, given the momentum in World of Warcraft and the other growth initiatives we have in the business. Our outlook does not include Diablo 4 or Overwatch 2 launching in 2021. So I hope Diablo 4 comes out 2022. I do want Diablo 2 Remaster to come out this year. I would like to have a new Diablo game to play, even though it is a remaster. I would like to see that happen this year. I don't think it will happen, but I'm hoping on it, honestly. To playing this, I've always, enjoyed Halo. Don't hate it at all. But, we'll see. We'll see. A lot of us writing on this game, Craig, because our homie Craig. So, I don't know. A lot of us writing on it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see. And finally, we're gonna end this stream today with Battlefield 6, a game that I'm looking forward to playing. I always enjoyed playing Battlefield. I really got into it, towards the end of Battlefield 4. I did play Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 a lot. I like Battlefield. I think Battlefield, for some people and for many reasons, is a little